What's up? Welcome back. Today we'll be drawing my series Comic 1. So this is probably the last episode. The last page that I'll be drawing for this comic, because I kind of already have an idea of a new series. So it will involve Megan in a new manga. I'm probably gonna call it something along the lines of darts, but I'm not sure yet. So let me know if you guys got any good suggestions for a manga title. So I'm starting out the video drawing the basic shape of the main male character. So the idea I had when drawing this is the main character Haru will look up. So when she look up, she still has like tears in her eyes, so whatever she's seeing now will be quite blurry. The second panel, you can see the main character returning the phone back to Haru. So I'm trying to get the handshakes in. When drawing this, I'm trying to work as fast as I could because I want to get the storyline done first before I do any beautification up on the panels. What I'm drawing now is Haru's face. So I'm trying to decide whether to give her a surprise face or a sad face. The expression that I decide in the end is a shock and crying face. I'm trying to draw her at an angle. From our angle, she's looking straight at us, but her body posture's pointed to the right at a 45-degree angle. The idea I have when drawing the hair when she's in this angle is that her hair will kind of flow to the right. So I'm drawing her knees now because she was previously in a sitting position with her knees tucked up to her chest. I'm using guidelines to make sure that her body has volume so that it will not look too flat when the drawing is finished. So I'm just giving her a few creases to her shirt. Drawing the eyes, drawing the light that bounces off her eyes and her tears, and a bit of blushing because when people cry, they normally have a bit of redness in their cheeks. So when drawing her clothing, let's remember that she is wearing long sleeve. There's a reminder that I give myself as well when drawing a character. So now that I would say 80% of what I'm trying to convey is being drawn out, I can go ahead and beautify. So the last panel, I decided to draw her tightly hugging her phone. So when drawing the face, I always start out with a circle and followed by the jawline. So obviously drawing some rough guidelines first for me to get a feel of her body posture. Right now I'm drawing the hair lines, so a general direction of how I want the hair to flow. So I'm drawing the body torso. I draw 2 lines down, followed by 2 lines pointing inwards to get her, what do you call it, the waistline. Right now that we have body posture mostly drawn out, I can move on to beautifying out. So I started with drawing the hair because to me that is the fastest way to get a better feel of how the final picture, how the final frame of this panel would look like. So as you could see me, I tried to draw a bit of the background in, so the stations supporting pillars. And right now I'm drawing a shadow for the part of her head that is being covered, so it's like inside. So something about this manga is that I think I've kind of given up on drawing speech bubbles because I don't have a very good memory of what I drew, because this whole manga is being drawn out within the span of a few months that I've actually forgotten the main idea of the story. But for the future manga series, I would try to do the speech bubbles off camera because I feel that that part needs more focus, and I don't want to keep typing in the speeches and deleting off whatever I type, because I feel that it is not up to par or something. Because for manga, it's quite important to have your storyline done properly, and speech bubbles can carry a lot of percentage of the storytelling, and I want to do it more properly, which means that I will take a lot more time trying to get the speeches, the ideas to be conveyed, to have more time to think of how I want to convey the idea properly. And yes, that was a very long-winded way of trying to express simple ideas. It's quite shocking. It's quite amazing how some people can just speak their mind online and carry their ideas quite easily. Well, I'm not the type of person that can speak my ideas in a very clear way. It always sounds better in my mind. So whatever comes up it requires so much more words to explain such a simple concept, which is another reason why I want to try speaking in YouTube, because I want to get better at speaking, like conveying simple ideas. I think that's quite a useful skill in everyday life when talking to people. You obviously want to get your ideas across as clear and as short as possible. So I'm drawing the hand structure of the main character, the male character returning the phone. So when drawing the hand, I need to redraw the body posture, because during the initial sketching phase, the posture that I gave him was very it was just drawn on a whim, just drawn very quickly. So the proper body posture, like whether the arm is facing, the arm is closer to the audience or the arm is away from the audience, is the arm in front of the chest or behind the chest. Yeah, these things get masked over when I was doing the initial sketches. And now that I already have an idea of how the panel is supposed to look like, I will beautify the posture up. So right now I'm drawing the hair. So one thing of male character hair is I haven't really figured out how to draw good looking hair for male characters, because most of my drawings I draw female characters, and naturally I'll have more practice in drawing female hair than male hair. So I wanted a proper resolution feel to the final page of the manga. So normally in most other manga it will be the two characters looking at each other, and then in the mid so when they're looking at each other they are standing far apart. So between them there will be a final text that gives the concluding line for the entire manga. So right now I'm drawing panels that don't really require any speech, because for the last panel it's more the style I'm trying to get is more feel. So emotions are the more important aspects that I'm trying to get across in the last panel. So when I was drawing the mouth, I'm trying not to make drawing the mouth from the side view, the lines for the mouth can easily make the character look like she's smiling or she's sad. So I'm trying to get a sad feeling, and when I'm drawing this I keep messing up the mouth angle, which makes her look happy. So that part was very tedious and I had to keep editing it many times. So regarding the facial feature, the side profile of the character, I am not very satisfied with how it turned out. So most of my panels I've been drawing is all a 45-degree or a straight head-on face, which means the audience is directly looking at the character. So I'm more experienced with drawing faces at those angles compared to a side angle, and that is why I decided to just erase the whole whatever I tried to draw just now and go back to my safe 45-degree approach. So the camera is 45 degrees when looking at the main character. So I believe when I'm drawing this, I had the idea of making Haru rub her eyes with her hand to show that she's like rubbing off her tears. I'm not sure if I would be drawing that part in. Knowing me, I will obviously take too long to draw the beautify up the panel and forget what I'm actually supposed to draw. So that is why I said it's better to get the main strokes, the main posture done as fast as possible before you forget the important things that you want to draw. So yeah, now I'm drawing the hand for rubbing off her tears as I covered just now. So again, I'm using simple shapes to get a basic outline for me to trace over and touch up. So when looking from this angle, the fingers will obviously be in different lengths and the finger that is further away will be thinner. Yeah. So another thing that I learned when drawing the hands in this frame is that her thumb should be on the other side. So my initial sketches of her having the thumb seeable from our angle is actually wrong. So right now I'm going to pull the scene. I'm going to change the width of the frame because I ended up drawing parts of the shoulder for the male character. So now I'm just going to give the male character a bit of a darker eyelash, more defining eye feature, a more defining eye. So something interesting that I'm using in this frame is that I'm trying to use perspective to draw a more realistic. I'm trying to use perspective drawing to create a more sense of depth in the world that I created. So my first attempt at the perspective drawing, when I drew the grid lines, I noticed that it was a bit off, and that's why I erased it off. So I wanted the male character to be taller than the female, than Haru, our main character. So that is why, if you could see the middle line, that line actually gives a sense of how tall stuff would be in the frame. If I have his head taller than the line, it would mean that he is taller than this character that we are drawing. So obviously she just received back her items and she'll be in a semi-sobbing state. And again, I'm using a bit of volumetric structure for her rough sketch, so that I know where to place her body parts when I'm drawing the rough sketches for later. Yeah, one thing I got wrong for the male character is how long the hair would be. Because I believe I drew the hair so he had hair reaching all the way to his neck, which is not the feel that I'm trying to achieve when I was drawing his hair. His hair should only reach maybe 3/4 of the, when you draw a character, you start with the circle before you draw the jawline. Yeah, it should only reach 3/4 of the circle part. That is the length of the hair that I wanted to have for him. Now I'm drawing the clothing, the rough sketch of the clothes. So when drawing the clothes, I try to include the creases of the clothes. So I tried to fix the hair length by adjusting the neck, which didn't work as well as I intended it to be. It did help a bit, but it still does not change the fact that his hair is way too long for what I'm designing him to have. So obviously the hand that I drew in this frame, it does not need to be as detailed because it's only going to be a small portion of the whole frame, and on hindsight I shouldn't have spent so much time drawing that high of a definition of a hand for most of my comic series.